knife handling and safety courses are in there, nutritional courses. As you move up, the courses get more advanced. Second level is obviously harder than the first one. Third level, you're going to go out on externship, practical working experience out in the industry. Fourth and fifth level are very advanced. There's going to be a lot of bread classes in there, anything to do with yeast dough, bread production, lots of cake production, petit fours, pastry, croissants, you name it. And the last level is based more on really advanced patisserie products, showpieces, lots of chocolate, lots of sugar work, pulled sugar, and very advanced products with chocolate.
Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us as we celebrate Small Business Week. My name is David Proudfoot. I'm a business advisor at the London Small Business Centre. Welcome to our panelists and the audience joining us live online. For the past 35 years, the Small Business Centre has been helping small businesses launch, grow, and succeed. From concept through startup and early growth stage of business, the Centre is here to help. We provide information, guidance, and professional advice on starting and running a successful business. We have the privilege of working with small business owners every day. We know how crucial they are to our community, and we want to salute their efforts. This week, we'll be hosting a series of live streaming sessions. Be inspired by the stories of local small business owners, ask some questions via chat, pick up some tips that can help you on your own journey of entrepreneurship. If you are a business owner, we invite you to celebrate by sharing your business tips, struggles, and your success stories on social media using the hashtag SmallBizLondonOn. Hopefully that's up on the screen there. Before we meet our guests, I'd like to thank our sponsors, the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario, Fanshawe College School of Contemporary Media, and they're broadcasting these shows. And so I'd like to introduce today's panel of speakers. They're graduates from the Ontario Work Self-Employment Program. First, on my far right, we have Adam Riley from Riley Counselling and Therapy, Paula Vergara, owner of Half and Half Social, and Hannah Crawford from Tiny Feet Fertility. So, while we get started, we'll get each of you to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your business. So, Hannah, why don't we start with you?
My name's Hannah, and I run Tiny Feet Fertility. So we are an egg donor agency. We link egg donors with intended parents who struggle with infertility, and we guide them along the way, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Okay. Paula.
Paula Vergara. I am the creative director at Half and Half Social. This is a creative agency. We do from cinematography to digital services, so anything with web design, graphic design, 3D animation, 2D animation, video, printing. Now we're offering printing now. Yeah, this is.
Okay, Adam.
I'm Adam Riley from Riley Counselling and Therapy. Primarily what I actually work as is a counselor. So people will call up, they'll have some problems, and we work through it. And I've been actually directing my business towards couples counseling recently.
Okay. So let's start with the first question, and hopefully there'll be some questions coming in through the chat soon, but I have some prepared already. So Adam, tell me, what was the biggest hurdle you faced as you were launching the business?
It was the branding and the marketing. It was something that I wasn't used to dealing with. I'd either worked for bigger corporations, and when I was in school, I didn't get, we're in social services, so we don't really focus on the marketing kind of capacity of how to market yourself as a business. So it was a very challenge, but it helped with the London Small Business Centre.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So the biggest challenge?
yes.
Honestly, not knowing how much to charge our clients. That was really difficult. I think we only were able to figure it out this year after 4 years. That's the hardest part. Plus, when you start, you have friends that also want, I don't know, like a logo or video or something, and it was really difficult understanding the market. But at the end, like, we decided to say, like, we learn how to say no when you have to say no, and you know, and if they want your service, they will have to pay what you charge. You know, that was the most difficult part.
It is one I
Yeah.
hear a lot.
It is very
It
challenging.
is, I'd say, probably one of the most common struggles that people face is valuing their own time and their own expertise.
Especially because, like, so part of the business is we do graphic design, we create logos, and we had many people saying, why are you charging that much for a logo? Well, I can go online to this or this website and they will charge, I don't know, like $100, $50. I'm like, just go there and, you know, pay them, but you get what you pay for at the end of the day.
Right.
So.
Hannah, how about you?
I think my biggest challenge, if I'm being honest, was convincing myself that I could do it. We started our business, it was an idea, it was a thought, and it grew into something so much larger than that. But in between those two stages, there was a lot. You know, we started in a craft closet, and we had no clients, and we had no donors, and we had no website, and we had nothing. And it was such a big jump to get from where we were then to where we are now. And I just sometimes felt like almost like a fraud, or like a teenager in an adult's body. Like, I'm now in the real world, you know, and we had a lot of responsibility, and we were dealing with legal teams and a lot of like really important things. And I had to just remind myself that, you know, I can do this. I know the industry. I'm capable of this. I know what I'm doing, and kind of put that into play.
Okay. Do either of you two relate to that
Yeah.
sense of imposter syndrome,
Yes.
it's called, I think?
This is it, yes.
Yeah. That so actually all three of you have addressed things that are very common challenges that people face. So as you see us sitting here, we're all sitting socially distanced, and so COVID has been an interesting time for many businesses. What has it meant for your business? Hannah, what has it meant for you?
COVID was a huge challenge for us. We deal with a lot of international clients, and as soon as COVID hit, they just couldn't come here, and so that put a lot of matches on hold. So basically the intended parents who are trying to have a child, they can't come here to get to the clinics that they're working with. And then donors were afraid to leave initially when it was just this very scary thing. You know, it still is, but they didn't want to travel to the clinics, and they didn't want to be around people. And then during the lockdowns, initially all of the fertility clinics closed, so a lot of our matches again got put on hold and then started falling apart because donors were moving and getting new jobs or getting pregnant themselves, and a ton of matches fell apart, which meant either refunds for us or we had to give like rematches, and then we weren't getting a lot of donors because it was a weird time to start this big endeavor. So it was very challenging for us. I think we're well on our way to recovering from that, but it was a lot of work.
Okay. Paula, how about you? Oh.
Actually, COVID has been the best because when COVID hit everyone, well, the first maybe 6 months, no, maybe around 4 months, it was very difficult. We didn't know what to do. We just renovated the basement, honestly. We didn't have any business. But then I think when people, when they understood what was happening, and now everyone wanted an online business and more videos and more social media, so that's when we start to get business. And actually, we were able to get 2 of the main clients that we have now. And yeah, like it hasn't stopped since COVID. Thank you, COVID. I know it's not the same for everyone, but for us, like, it was great because, I'm gonna start selling this from home. I need a website. Perfect. Okay. Oh, you know what? Like, I wanna digital advertising, and I wanna do video ads. Perfect. So we can do that. So it's been actually really good. In the last few months, it's been like, you know, this, but I think it's the 4th wave, or, you know, whatever it is, but it's getting there again, so it's good. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, it was a cultural change within my industry because we were so used to doing it in person, face-to-face, people coming in, and actually having to navigate the digital world because I wasn't exactly the most tech savvy person in the world. So learning how to use Zoom, how to send an invitation correctly, and then a lot of research about like, you know, privacy and confidentiality, and which services and which streaming services would be you can use that are within the legal confines to keep confidentiality. So it was a challenge, but it's actually become quite a nice one because a lot of times when people they like the actual not having to commute to an office. They're starting to get, and if they have a house where they feel comfortable and safe, they have the session there and they have their pet. So, you know, it's been,
Nice.
I don't think our industry is ever going to go back to the same way as it was.
Okay. So we have a questions come in from online, asking if you could share a bit about your fears of trying something new. What was the risk and how did you deal with the stress? Paula, why don't we start with you?
Trying something new. What are the challenges? That's the question.
Was there
trying
fear?
something new.
Was there, right? How much risk were you taking?
You don't know if what you are doing is going to work how you imagine it. I don't know if I'm explaining that the correct way,
Yeah.
but so I have an example. We started doing a lot of videos, and we did these videos for an artist, like she's a singer, and they didn't have the budget to do what they wanted to do, and we were really afraid to try. Like we said, okay, we're gonna do it just a white background, and then we'll take care of the post-production part. And we were really afraid that it wasn't gonna work. How, like, we developed the storyboard and everything, and how we imagined and we told our client it was going to look. We were not sure if it was gonna work, but it did, and we won a prize in the Telly Awards in New York. So we were really happy with that. It's just, I think you just have to go for it. You know, like sometimes the fears that you have on doing something new won't let you take that extra steps. And some people will just say, oh, no, I'm afraid to do it. I won't do it. But I think you have to just go with the flow and do it. You know?
Okay. Well, I'm going to touch on that a bit. So tell us a bit about the award. That's exciting.
Yeah, so actually we won 2 with the same artist. So one of the videos won at the Toronto Women Film Festival. We won for best best music video. And we were in the official selection for best director, and I just don't remember the other one. And for the other video we did for her, we won in the Telly Awards in New York for best music video as well, in the cinematography, craft cinematography selections or something like that. So, yeah.
Very good. Impressive.
Yeah.
Okay. So how do you deal with stress? I think this is right up your
Breathing is always a good thing. It's one of those things where you've got to really do the self-care. It ultimately comes down to that because when you're feeling so stressed out, when you want to get creative ideas and you have to think outside the box, you need to reduce your stress, and that big part of that is actually taking the time for self-care, whatever it is, and then naturally the ideas will normally flow.
Okay.
So.
Any other thoughts on dealing with stress?
I like to call my dad. I call my sister and run the situation by them and just kind of talk it out. Makes me feel better.
Having a support group is very important.
It's hard when people don't always understand your business and what you're going through, and there's a lot of details that we can't tell them. But sometimes you can just say like, I'm so stressed with this. Like, please just tell me I'm not wrong, or tell me I am wrong, and how should I deal with this? So, yeah, sometimes you just got to talk it out.
Yeah. I found when I had my own business years ago that there were some people that I could talk to that got it, and other people who just have no concept of business. I would say something to my mother, and it would be like, she doesn't get it. She's worked her entire career in social service and just didn't get it. But my father, it was a really good support. Do you have supports? I mean, obviously, Federico.
Yeah, my husband. And my sister, she's an artist too, and yes, like that works actually. Sometimes I do call her, and talk to her, and it helps me. It's just that sometimes what you were saying, like, yeah, you need to talk to somebody, because sometimes I can't sleep. Like, I can't sleep because I'm thinking on those challenges that I have, and like, I'm very stressed because I want this to work for my client, and I want it to look like we told the client it was going to look, and you don't know if, if I should just do what I think I can do, like, it's very stressful sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think it's also like when you have a small business, it's not like we're like a huge corporation, like we're not Walmart. So if there's a handful of people that are upset at you that day, they don't care, they can move past that easily. I can't speak for everybody, but with me, if I have even one client that's upset with something I've done or something that they think I've done or haven't done, like we need to address that, and it does keep me up at night. So if you're gonna start your own business, just definitely get some like melatonin, because sometimes you need some help to go to sleep.
So Adam, you're the person that people turn to talk to. Do you have somebody for yourself to talk to?
Absolutely. I actually seek out consultations and also go to networking events with people like-minded. And lots of times when you're actually around people that are of the similar business, you actually get I've been through this and this is how I navigate it. So practicing on the wisdom of the people that have come before you, it's usually how I kind of navigate through a lot of those stressful moments.
Right. So we often hear from people that are looking to start a business that they don't want to work for somebody else. That even though it's a lot of hours, a lot of work, they want to do it because they want it to be theirs, right? Was that your sense? Is that a statement that you agree with, that resonates with you, or was there some other motivation for you in starting a business? Paula, why don't you start with
Always
you?
me, always. I agree, like half and half. If you start your own business, it's because you like what you do, right?
Okay.
And yes, it's a lot of hours, but actually you have the freedom to manage your schedule. I have 2 kids. I have my husband. I have 2 bunnies. I have to take care of the bunnies. So you learn how to manage your time, and eventually it will work. Not right away, and yes, at the beginning you work like 24/7, is true, but you're doing what you love. If you work at an office, you're making richer? How do you
Somebody
say?
else?
Yeah, somebody else, and you work for them 40 hours a week, and you don't love what you're doing for them, and you're always thinking, what if I had my own business? And it's worth it. I think the time you spend on your own stuff is worth it, if you know how to manage your time. If not, forget it. Just go back to the office. And, yeah, that's what I think.
Hannah, how? And I noticed some head nodding.
Well, I mean, my father owned his own businesses for years. So growing up, I never worked for anybody but him. So I did not learn to work for people well, because even my dad, I would challenge all the time. So I knew from a very early age that I was meant to be my own boss. So that's a big part of it. But also something to consider is you're not working for anybody, but you also really are working for people. You're working for all of your clients, and you have full responsibility. You are on the hook for all of that. There are so many days where I would love to just pass off some responsibility, or like, okay, it's 5, I get to leave. It's waiting for you tomorrow. You don't just get to pass it off to the next employee. So there's definitely pros and cons. I love what you said about making your own schedule. If I need to do something, I have 3 kids. If I need to do something for my kids that day, I just don't work, or I work at night, or
Exactly, yeah.
I went fishing once and I worked on the boat. So you can do all those things.
I
and
work
that
in
is
Grand
great.
Bend.
Yeah,
I go there, they swim, and I'm just, I'm
Exactly,
working.
and that's really great, and not a lot of people have that. So there's definitely some pros and cons, but that was a big part of it, is just being able to make your own decisions.
Okay. So it's about that work-life. Any other tips? So Adam, do you have tips about that work-life balance?
Oh, again, self-care, I can't say enough about it. It's critical and an important part. But I will say, it is nice to have like that flexibility. So if you have to have a doctor's appointment, you just book it off in your scheduler. But recognizing like when there's a reality is like when you book off, if you book off too much time, you don't have billable hours. And so that's the kicker. Like when you're working for somebody, you get like a vacation pay and everything else. But then when you are self-employed, like I just recently took 2 weeks off, and I'm not going to get paid for those 2 weeks. So it's the trade-off, and it's really like what we've come down to knowing is like knowing what your value is and working that into your price when you actually, so that you're not feeling that extra stress, so that you can take that moment to breathe and have a couple weeks off, like everybody else does.
Okay. We have a question there. I'm not sure I understand the question. Sort of it says, who does small business benefit? So I'm not sure what that question is exactly.
The local community.
Yeah,
That would
let's
be-
talk about how do you
because-
see small
Supporting
business helping the
local,
community?
Yeah, we make the money, it keeps it here. It's not
Okay.
going off to somewhere in the States, it's not going off to somewhere in Toronto, it's
Yeah.
staying here.
Okay. So why is that important?
Why is that important?
Yes.
Dave, why are you asking that?
I don't want to answer that one.
No, me neither. Adam, what do you think?
Oh my gosh, so early on in my career and having to make a definitive statement. If you invest in locally, in the local communities, then there's give back. And generally speaking, it does help create a better wage for people, I think, if you invest maybe in the local communities. I might be stepping out, I don't have the necessary stats, but that's where my first thoughts are going with it.
And the good thing is that I think if you work local, you can do a lot of collaboration with other businesses, and you can help each other and grow basically together. And I think that's a good point
Yeah.
to add.
Well, one stat that I do know, and I'm not sure how current it is, but I know at one point it was in excess of 50% of all employment in the, like all private sector employment in Canada, over 50% was for businesses that had under 4 employees.
Wow.
So
Small.
huge part of the
Huge number.
economy, right? And that's what we're here about. So, Anna, how difficult did you find it to initially build your client base?
Well, when we first started, I thought that we were going to have to beg for clients to work with us, and that donors would just come rolling in. But it was the opposite, and we really struggled because we have 2 target markets. We have young women who are willing to donate their eggs, and that's very specific. There's very specific criteria, and then there's basically anyone who wants to be an intended parent in Canada with us. So we found that it was a complete opposite. We had and still have clients knocking on our door all the time, and to the point where we have to say like no more for this month. And then we really still struggle with finding donors because it is such a niche market, and it's really hard to kind of know where to find people like that and know how to even bring up that conversation. So that's definitely been a struggle, and we are right now talking about maybe getting like a marketing team or someone who can help us kind of figure out where to find our people.
Okay. Well, do you want to, it's very specific, do you want to
Yes.
describe it in case there's somebody watching that
Yeah,
that either
definitely.
fits that or knows somebody who does?
Definitely. So just the smallest little explanation here. As an egg donor, it's someone who wants to donate their genetic makeup to a couple. You can do it anonymously or known. I myself am a 6-time egg donor, so I've helped 6 couples create their own families. And so we're looking for women who are of between 19 and 30. And you have to be a non-smoker, not currently pregnant or breastfeeding, and willing to take injections. So you take about 10 days of hormone injections to stimulate the production of your eggs, and then they harvest them through just a small procedure. And we cover all expenses and everything, and it's just a really wonderful thing to do. And we're always looking for donors, and we also compensate for any referrals for friends. So if you're looking for any of that, check us out, Tiny Feet Fertility. We'd love to hear from you.
Okay. So what was the biggest help for you, Adam, in starting the business?
The business plan. I will say it quite a bit. It was kind of give me like, because like sometimes when you first say, hey, I want to open up a business, you're spreading yourself too thin. You're going in one direction, the next direction in this, and it kind of creates a template for you to follow back on and really focus where you want to go and what kind of clients you actually want to attract to your business.
Okay.
So yeah, the business plan was a huge component for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, what help did you tap into in getting started? I knew you came to
Here.
us, but
That's it. No, small business center. That was the only help I got.
okay.
And it actually helped us a lot because when you start, you don't know where to start, what are the right steps, or like how to organize everything. And like small business was a really amazing tool, I would say, if you want to start your own business. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Hannah, you mentioned earlier that things are starting to look up post-COVID. Is there anything coming up that you're looking forward to, especially in your business?
Just continuing to grow, just continuing to be able to help more intended parents, not having to tell people that we can't help them this month, just because so many of our donors are matched or things like that. So just growing.
Okay. Paula, how about you? What are you looking forward to as hopefully things start to get back to?
We're working already on 2 main projects that I can't talk about yet, but soon. And we are going more through, even though we do a little bit of everything, we are going more towards the videography and cinematography part of the business, because it's actually, like, people need videos for everything now, right? And we're getting a lot into the digital advertising, and it's good, it's good. It helps every single business, regardless of what they do. A video always helps. So we're going towards that, and the other project that I mentioned, and we're getting where we want to.
Okay. Adam, how about you?
For me, it'll be actually being able to see people in my office. It won't ever be 100% in the office, but it will be, there's certain clients that will want to continue, and I'll be happy when we can actually do that and provide it in a safe way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So thinking about your business, what about your business makes you proudest? It's all your babies. So you don't have 3, you have 4.
Yeah,
right?
definitely. For me, I guess there's 2 things that make me really proud. One is that I did it. That was really big, considering I never quite knew what I wanted to do. I always knew that I wanted to do something different and special, but I didn't really know what I wanted to do for a career. So I'm really excited that we actually did this. And the other thing is just how many families we make and how many babies we help create. We have a baby wall where intended parents send photos of their babies once they're born, and just when I'm having a bad day, like, I just go over and see all their squishy little faces and their tiny little feet and everything, and just I'm really proud of that, because those babies might not have been here, if we didn't do what we do. So.
Okay. Adam, how about you?
Really taking the jump and going into the business, like so many of us have said. And actually I'm at a point now where it's actually looking like it could actually be a business that I could carry out for the rest of my life. And that, and being really, like, originally I wasn't as flexible on certain things, but being able to be flexible and learning that you can adapt and you can change to the market as the needs occur.
That's true.
Yeah.
Paula, your thoughts on that?
Same thing, taking that jump, like that risk to start a business, because like for me, I was in an office, and one day I just decided, after a meeting, I took everything, I deleted all the emails on the computer that I had on that computer, and I left. And I called my husband, cry. I'm like, I just quit my job. What are we doing? And he's like, let's just do this. And it was really, so I'm proud of that, because if it wasn't for that, like, because I wasn't happy there, like half and half wouldn't exist right now. And I'm also very proud that, very happy that we are helping our clients get out there and get their business to be known, that's how you say it? Okay. With all the digital advertising and everything we're doing for them. I'm happy when a client says, I don't like my website, can you fix it? And we just redesign it, and they are happy. So that makes me proud of what we do. Yeah.
Okay. So thinking back to when you started, if present you could go back and talk to startup you, what one piece of advice
I know.
would you give? Okay, Paula, you said you want.
Never do anything for free, because we did many things for free to get where we thought we were gonna get and get clients, and because you think, oh, if I do this for free and start my building my portfolio, and oh, you're my friend, I'm gonna do this for you. No, don't do that. Paula, don't do that. Never. Yeah, that's my advice.
That's a good one.
Very
Never
good advice.
charge. Like, yes, it is difficult, as I said before, to know how much is the right price, but charge something, to start with. Like, even if they're friends, just charge. They have to value your skills and everything you do, right? So yeah, never work for free.
Okay. Adam, what advice would you give yourself?
Oh my gosh, just do it and stop worrying about everything, because the amount of energy that you waste on worrying about, am I good enough? Am I, that whole imposter syndrome, it's energy you could just put into your business. If you're going into it, you already have that ambition that you've targeted something in the market, and just go for it.
Anna?
Kind of the same thing, a combination of both. Just manifest the crap out of that. Just know that you can do it, and really believe in yourself. And also just believe that you're good enough and you're smart enough and you know enough about the industry to not do things for free, but B, also back down from people when there's a challenge. So a lot in the beginning, we, maybe if a client was upset with me or didn't agree with something, I was very quick to back down, because I was just so afraid that someone might say online that they didn't like my business. So I worked really hard to say, I'm so sorry, but there's sometimes that you are right and you need to stand by what you've done and not be afraid of that, and know that you're confident enough and you're in the right. So, yes.
Okay. So, Paula, you brought up the issue. Well, I'm going to circle back to something you just said.
Okay.
And we've briefly touched on it before, and that's the importance of charging and finding that price and finding the value that you offer. Okay. Do you have a strategy that you could offer to people in helping arriving at that price?
A lot of research. A lot of research, I think, and asking around, like also the collaboration between, like as I said before, the collaboration like with businesses is that they are not your competitors. They're your, like, anyone does the same thing as I do is just friends, like I can send business to another company that does the same things I do, and talking to them and doing the networking with people that do the same thing helped me figure out my prices and everything. Yeah.
Okay. Adam, how about you?
I'm going to actually bounce off of you for that. Like, originally when I first started in the business, I was like looking at the websites and everything. I was going, oh wow, these are the people I'm competing against. But when you actually get that moment when you're actually talking with them and paying for their time, that's a big thing too, and to have that communication with them. They actually will sometimes, they'll take some time and get to know you and a regular thing. And actually sometimes they're overbogged with clients, so they'll shift some over to you. So it's a great opportunity, the teamwork and the collaboration that can happen, as long as you don't try to actually take out their business. That's the only that's the only big thing, But yeah, usually people are willing to help.
Do you have that kind of relationship with your competitors?
No, I don't. We do a lot of, we work with a lot of sister companies, so surrogacy agencies, but we don't don't send donors to other companies. One thing I just also wanted to touch on when you were talking about price is just one mistake that I think I may have read in a book, or maybe someone had told me, was don't like make your price the lowest price in the industry just to start off with, because that is not a smart move. It doesn't make you more appealing or attractive to potential buyers. You then are attracting clients that are not your client. Exactly. And so it doesn't give you, the upper hand at all. You need to charge what you're worth, even if it's higher. I've had a couple people, and we started off low. I was there. I made that mistake. We started off the lowest we could, and we got a lot of people who would then come to us and try and negotiate, and they didn't respect us as much, and then slowly we got up, and now I think we're just right on par with everybody else. But there is one or two other agencies that are cheaper than us, and I often get people like, well, they're cheaper over there. I'm like, well, then you should go there. If that is what you want, you definitely, if that's what you need, there's nothing wrong with that. But we are not them, and we can't compare our services just because someone else is charging something. So charge what you're worth.
Okay. How intimidating was that for you?
Very. And I got an email. When we hiked up our prices, my sister, who is the co-owner, so she works with me, she was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure we should do this?" I'm like, "Yes, I am 100% sure we are worth it, and we do the work." And the proof is in the pudding. Like, people tell us all the time that they've gone from one agency to now working with us, and they're really happy with our services and our communication. But at one point, one of the clinics reached out, and they're like, "Well, one of our clients told us that your prices have increased from what we have on our paper. Can you tell us a little bit about that?" And my sister was like, I told you we shouldn't have done it. But I stood by it, and I was like, yeah, we do, because we offer a lot more, and we're proud of that. And that, that's one of those moments where like, yes, we do charge that. And you're like, right? Is that okay? And it went over really well. She said, "I totally understand. We love having you, and that's not going to affect you being on our top 3, referral list." So we've been that price ever since, and people that want to work with us pay it, and we have a great working relationship. So, yeah.
So, Hannah, how does the Small Business Center help you the most in getting your business started and up and running?
I mean, the Small Business Center helped me in every way, so it's really hard to pinpoint just one specific thing. I think that I just would not be here if it wasn't for the Small Business Center, and I will tell that to everybody. So basically, I, again, started with just a thought. It was just a thought, like a crazy thought that I could do something like this, and I had no idea what I needed. I didn't have a business plan. I didn't have a website. I had nothing. And then, sure enough, I'm sitting beside someone who was a web developer, Robert, and he developed our whole website, and it's beautiful, and we still get compliments about it, and it's like just the way it functions, it's unreal. He was amazing. And I met so many people networking, going to all the events, which was really outside of my comfort zone because I'm a very shy person. But it was fun, and it was helpful. And then just every step of the way, there was someone. I remember just having meetings with you, and I'm like, I'm stuck on this. Like, I've thought of every possible way to get past it. And you're like, but did you think about this? I'm like, no, I didn't. I absolutely did not think about that. But that is exactly what I need to do. So there was just always someone there, and no one ever made me feel like I couldn't do it, or that I was silly or stupid or anything. Everyone was always so wonderful to help build me up and give me just every opportunity. So, I mean, I'm eternally grateful for this program. So.
I'd forgotten that you and Rob were part of the same class.
Yes,
when
yes,
you said that.
he's
But,
lovely.
okay, I remember
yes,
that.
we
Yes,
still
I
keep in
remember.
touch. I think he's doing really well, and yeah, he built us a beautiful website. So.
Good.
And the speakers too, like the speakers we had, and telling us their challenges and how they build their businesses and everything, that also inspired, I think, everyone.
Are you meaning the when I brought the ones in January? Is that the one you're talking about, or the?
No, because you had people
Oh, the
sometimes
SB,
in the
okay.
class and talking about their business because they were in
Right.
the program, and like after 5 years,
Right,
So
yeah.
I really like that because you're afraid of starting something like that, just random, because it's a thought, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I'm doing this.
Yeah.
And then you see people that are like went through the same things, so that actually inspired me.
Okay, I'm glad that Yeah, I'm glad that was useful for you. So I'll keep that in mind for January again. And hopefully we'll be back in person so that people can actually meet people.
And hopefully
in
we're
person.
inspiring everyone.
Yes.
Well, and that's partly what this is about.
Yeah.
Adam, what about you? What are your thoughts on
Same things, honestly. It was like having that positive voice, like when you had a question or something that was like, like, cause like I wasn't in the business community, like for like a small business part of it, and just running it by you and just having that opportunity where you were like, okay, why don't you think about it this way or that way, and just kind of navigating and having somebody to bounce something off that didn't have a bias. It was just, here's the routes you can take. And I thought that was kind of
Also being accountable,
Yeah.
like when you're like, okay, your business plan has to be in on Friday. You're like, all right, Thursday, here we go. You have to, otherwise I just wouldn't have done it. So, and all the meetings and follow-ups and there, I was able to take advantage of a pretty significant grant there, which also, even just applying for that made me go through like the proper channels and really think, okay, these are some questions I need to answer about my business and I need to do some research and things. So even just trying to apply for that kind of helped me figure out some things about my business. So
start the business plan the second the class starts.
yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So how much time do you spend on the plan?
I'm an overthinker, so. Oh my gosh, I stopped counting after it hit 40 hours. I'm going to be quite honest. Yeah, I stopped counting because I didn't want to know. But but yeah, it was probably a good 4 weeks. It was constantly like 3 hours a day, at least minimum, 3 to 4 hours. Just thinking about it because you have to answer these questions because there's some things that have come up recently within like where I'm going to go with the direction of my business in the future, and I won't say what it is, but I've had to refer back to it, and it's a living, breathing document.
Yeah, it
It's
changes all the time.
It's your resume on steroids. Yeah.
So Paula, you and Federico came in together. It's your business together. Was it mostly you? Was it mostly him? Was it a joint
half and
effort?
half. That's
It
why
was
it's
half and half.
actually.
You've stuck to the name, and
Clever.
it really
And
is.
we work, it's funny because everyone's like, you work with your husband? Yeah. 24/7? Yeah. Yeah, like, we don't mind at all. And he has his skills, I have mine, and we have 2 more people that work with us. So we all share, because at the beginning you tend to do everything yourself, and you have to understand and learn that you can't do everything yourself, right? So yeah, it's half and half. That's
Okay. Which actually is a great segue. So I think all of you have people, maybe not as full-time employees, but all of you have people working for you, okay? Can you tell me about that thought process and the step of taking part, handing your baby over to the nanny, as it were? Tell me about that process and your thoughts.
I
on
was
that.
willing to hand the baby over to the nanny because I love what I do, I don't necessarily like the administrative tasks. So the second my business got actually viable, bookkeeper. Because I'm a big picture kind of person, and the little fine details about how you put into the spreadsheet, GST credits and all this other stuff. No, that's not me. I appreciate it, and I will know how to read the spreadsheet. So because you don't want to give somebody total power, you still have to look at it. But at the end of the day, know your strengths, know your limitations, and that's one of my limitations. So I was just passing it off as quickly, and I never regretted it. Actually, I kind of did a happy dance the other day when I'm thinking about, okay, we're getting close to where a couple of years ago I would have been having to take a week off to get everything done, and now it's her responsibility. So.
Okay.
So it's less stressful. 'Cause
Oh,
like,
that's
for
my
me-
number one stressor.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't look at the numbers. I'm like, nope.
No.
But it's somebody else. Like, yeah, bookkeeper. I'm like, yeah, no, forget
So
it.
do you have
Because it's very
do you have
stressful.
a bookkeeper?
Yes.
Okay. Was that your first?
We started using the tool that you gave us, QuickBooks.
Okay.
but the bookkeeper actually has access, and he does everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I don't look at the numbers. No, forget it. Yeah, no way.
They explain it to you, but but
Yeah, he explains when
Yeah.
like taxes comes and he explains. I'm like, yeah, just explain to my husband. Like, I don't want to know this. Like,
Actually, one of the pieces of advice that you gave me always stuck with me was if you can pay someone to do something
Yeah.
in 4 hours that would take you 15 hours, just pay them, because what is your time worth? And that has always stuck with me, and that's why I also have a bookkeeper. 'Cause numbers are not my thing.
yeah.
Yes. Great. All right. Well, thank you all. It was good to see all of you and see you in person. Hopefully there will be more opportunities to see everyone in person. So I'd like to thank the panelists, our partners, the Federal Economic Development Agency for Southern Ontario and the School of Contemporary Media at Fanshawe College. We invite you to join us tomorrow. Tomorrow's panel is on our Main Street retail program. Thank you all.